Hello, this is Mark Castle at castlecoaching.com. Welcome to today's episode. I talk a lot about prayer on this channel. A lot about prayer on this channel. And I will continue to talk about prayer in this channel because it is a go-to part of my life. I personally believe that we are always in prayer. We are always in prayer. Because our minds work all the time. Even when we're trying to quiet the mind through meditation or just breathing or quiet exercise or whatever, our mind is still active, and therefore we are praying. And it's not obviously a formal prayer. However, it certainly is prayer. So they always talk about be careful what you pray for. They also talk about controlling your thoughts. And I believe that the reason that people say that really deep down inside is the fact that the more we can have a little bit of control over our thoughts, the more our prayers are directed in a way that's more clear to the universe. My personal opinion is that the universe likes clarity. It could be, though, that it's just us human beings need clarity. That could be it as well. Regardless, prayer. So I talk a lot about the Ho'oponopono prayer, and the reason that I talk about it a lot is because it is a prayer that quiets the mind. It is a prayer that, as they say in Ho'oponopono, it cuts the aka chords. And those chords are essentially invisible energies that we're attached to. And so if there are things in my life that I don't like, then it would seem that I would want to cut those aka chords. Now, sometimes they happen right away when I do Ho'oponopono prayer, and other times it takes some rounds. I know there's one I'm working on now that is taking quite some time, and I would love for it to go faster. However, one thing that I do know is that nature goes at its speed, not the speed of human beings and human being desires. There is another prayer that I use. And there's really two parts to this prayer. And the thing that I will say about this prayer is that the results happen immediately. They happen immediately. And this prayer is, God, please relieve me of my fear and direct my attention to what you would have me be. And every time that I have used that prayer, and I would love to say that I remember to use that prayer every single time I'm in fear, that's not the case. But every time that I use that prayer, there is a shift. It is palpable and immediate. Always. Never, never the energy shifts immediately. Now, I'm not saying it's all gone away, but there is an immediate change of energy and a releasing of fear. And we live in a fear-based world. We live in a fear-based world. And that prayer has saved me so many times. And I'm glad I'm talking about this today. I actually wrote about this prayer this morning. And I was thrilled to have done so. There's two things going on here. One is, God, please relieve me of my fear. And then the second part is, and direct my attention to what you would have me be. So, if I'm not in fear, it's really cool to use the second part of that prayer as well. And I have started doing that a lot because, like most people, I still have doubts about where my service is to be. How am I to be for God? How am I to be for my fellow man? So, in the last week, I've been using that prayer a lot. Direct my attention to what you would have me be. Direct my attention to what you would have me be. And see, like all the other prayers I talk about on this channel, none of these prayers are telling God or the universe or whatever you want to call that powerful energy what to do. Because, like I said earlier this week, I don't know the bigger picture. I don't know the bigger picture. But I do know that if I tell God what to do, that it can blow up in my face, because I have done that. And I'm sure you have too. And I guess another way of saying that prayer is, God help me. You know, just God help me. But let's sit on that for a minute. Direct my attention to what you would have me be. Now, the universe... Oh, no, not the universe. I'm sorry. The ego has a challenge with that. And I'll tell you exactly what the challenge is. The challenge is that it wants to know when the money is coming in. It wants to know that everything is going to be okay. It wants to know when we're getting a new car. It wants to know that my children and my wife and my friends and my husband or whoever are going to be safe and secure. It wants all of those things. And it doesn't want to let go. And by saying, direct my attention to what you would have me be, that is letting go. And trusting that there is a better idea out there. A better idea that I may not know the best thing for me. Now, in the meantime, I don't sit around and do nothing. I just keep showing up and just keep saying, direct me, direct me, direct me. But let's also go back to the fear part. And the reason that I want to go back to the fear part of this prayer is because, as I said earlier, so many people live in fear. So many people live in fear. And this prayer has taken fear away from me for a very long time. God, please relieve me of my fear. And you can fill in the blank what the fear is. God, please relieve me of my fear of, fill in the blank, and direct my attention to what you would have me be. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And it always works. That's the thing that's so important, is that it always works. Not much is guaranteed in life. Not much is guaranteed. But I will categorically say that that prayer works. Period. Has always worked for me. And I know a lot of other people who use the prayer, and it works for them. And the Ho'oponopono prayers work for me. And I know a lot of other people who use them, and they get incredible results too. So once again, another episode about prayer. And I know that that can be challenging to people, particularly the part about not telling anybody, telling the universe what they want or what to do. And sometimes one needs a little help. Sometimes just one needs a little help. And of course, that's part of the point of this channel, is that showing you that I'm available to give a little help and help you help you with direction. But regardless, I pass this prayer on to you for fun and for free. God, please relieve me of my fear and direct my attention to what you would have me be. At once, we commence to outgrow fear. Thank you so much for listening. Merci beaucoup. À bientôt. Bonne journée.